In this episode, we're going to talk about how we upgraded the headlights and corner markers on the S70 T5. Well, hey, handy people. Today we're going to work on the S70 a little bit, and one of the first things I want to do, I'm putting on some nice ECode headlights. The first step in headlight removal is to reach down with a long-handled screwdriver. Let's give you an idea of the length. It's, I guess got an 8-10 inch long stem. It's just a small flat blade. And I reach in, and if you see this slot right here, that slot, and you press down on it, and you press down, and at the same time you push against right here, you leverage it against, but you got to make sure it's all down. And there you see it popped, and I need to go a little further. There we go. Now you'll see that little lip is now below this portion. And now I can put the screwdriver behind it, behind the tab. Again, levering it, and pop, out she comes. That's how you remove it without damaging this and this, or this, because there's points that have to mount there, there, and there. But that's the first step in your headlight removal. Then you remove either the plug or twist and pull the plug out, the bulb out. You can do it either way. It's just your own personal preference. The next step is I'm using a 1/4 inch drive ratchet with a small extension and a deep well 10. And there's 3 bolts that hold the back of the light. And if you can see, I'm getting one. There's one on the outer edge, and then there's 2 on this side. So I'm going to pull those 3 bolts and then remove the light. So then the next thing I did is I took out these 3 number 10 bolts. They're long, as you can see. And they come out. Now the headlight will come out of the housing. And basically, I just pull it forward. Now I have to unplug the harness that plugs into it. So I'll do that next. And that's just simply pushing on a little wire release and then wiggling it to the back. Now this headlight's totally released, and it should come out. Or should and does is 2 different things. There we have it. Actually, it's a decent hell of light. It's an OEM light. It's still in good shape. So hopefully, yeah, that's not too bad. And then we're going to reverse the procedure and put the new ECode in. What's the difference between the ECode and the SAE light, the American brand, is this lens. The fluting on the lens is different. And actually, I'm going to change this lens with that lens, because that lens looks better. This one's got a little bit of sandblast on it. Not bad, but that one's actually much cleaner, so we're going to use that. All right, so we took the ones, this small, this device is actually for holding the small wipers, but this Texas car doesn't have the winter package, so it doesn't have the headlight wipers. So you take this bracket off. To get the lens off, you got to first take that bracket off. Then we take off these, and I'm going to show you how to do that. It's pretty simple. These things are clips, and they clip the back side and the front side. I put a screwdriver in the back side and just pop off the plastic side. You don't want to try and pry off of the glass side, because the glass side can crack on us. So it's just real simple. Slide the screwdriver in and twist. And then there's side ones. One on each side. Normally there's supposed to be one here. You can see wherever this fluting is where there's supposed to be one of these clips. So this light's missing a clip. Then you take the clips off. Set them here. Now I'm going to take this headlight lens off. Now, again, you got to be careful. You don't want to drop this thing because they're expensive. And out it comes. Comes off pretty easy. I just pried it a little bit and out it came. So there's the good lens we're going to use. I'm going to set this housing down aside for a minute. And I'm going to set this headlight lens aside in a safe spot. And now I'm going to take this one apart. This and out comes the lens. Now I'm going to keep this nice housing. You see how shiny that housing is? That's a better housing than the other one. I'll compare them here for just a quick second so you can see. Quite a bit of difference between those two in terms of reflectivity. So we're going to use this better housing, and oh look, there's an LED light in the bright socket here, so that's another plus. Thank you, William. This gasket was normally glued to the light lens, but sometimes they come apart and they come off. So make sure you can't double the gasket. You don't want to do that. So the other one, the gasket stayed on the light lens, which is good. And then you just make sure that this thing goes right back down in, which this fit very nicely. Got a little cleanup to do, but not bad. And then to install it, you put the glass side on first, and then just push down. We have the new lens installed. We'll wash this off once we get it in, but it's really in beautiful shape. So this is going to go in just the opposite of the way it came out. All right, you'll notice there's a big pin right here. And if you'll look here, there's a socket where that pin goes in. And that's important, that, you know, that's going to be part of the alignment. This bolt hole will be where I bring the 10mm bolt through, this one right here. So first I slide it up and in, and I'm going to plug it in. Come on around here and I'll show you where that is. There's a plug. Well, it's very hard to see because of the lighting. There's a plug right here that actually plugs into the back of the unit. And there we go. And then once I get it in, I just push. Now I'm going to push this whole light assembly in until it's seated. And there's a pin also on the car side. There's a pin that this goes in as well. So get that pin located as well, and now we can put our 3 bolts in. Okay, so these 2 plastic clips go into these 2 pockets, and this has to go underneath there. So it's a little bit of fiddling about, and you also have to get this pin into this hole here. So it seems like it's not possible, but if you take your time, I can see that it's lined up. And I just tap it gently, and then when it's in, looks good, I give it a slight pop and she's locked in. And if you look down here, you can see that down there is that where we put that screwdriver in to release it. Now the other thing, I can use that little hole put my finger through it. There's two different headlights here. This one is a DOT, and it actually, I don't know if you can read that, but it says DOT right there. And this is a Hella, this is an OEM headlamp, and it's in pretty decent shape. Then we have an ECode. And this ECode has a little sandblast. It's got a little wear, but it's got really nice reflectors on the inside. So that's more important. And this has different fluting. And I don't know if you can see and get the angle, but see, you can see the fluting is different on this ECode lens. And this casts better lighting than this does. That's why we use the ECode lights. Oh, are those bright? Wow. Those ECodes are amazing. Wow. Yeah. Put your bright lights on. Do you know how? Pull the, yep. Okay, turn them off. Yes, sir. Those ECodes are, woo, they are nice and bright. Thanks for watching, folks. Appreciate it. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.